Boozeketeers. It's Tuesday night, and I'm Tiki King, and you're the Boozeketeers. And you all know what that means. It's Cocktales and Tiki King, right here, right now, on this station, in this place, at this moment. That's right. You're here. You're experiencing this in real time, baby. Like this is a phenomenon. It's like you're like we're all. Actually, it's not. You're, I think, 4 seconds after me, which means that I already know what's going to happen before you find out what I'm going to do. So it's time travel, but it's only like it's like whoop, like one undulation, one time travel undulation per customer. Thank you. So here we are. It's Tuesday night. Hope you all had a very good week. Here we are. I don't know how many people are probably watching, doing other things. There's a million live streams going on right now. I thank you for tuning into mine. Thanks for joining us here on the Cocktales of Tiki King program, episode 112. That's right, 112 episodes. That's like cringe. Binge. It is cringeworthy. It's cringeworthy. Oh, it's binge-worthy. You can go on YouTube, and watch all the episodes, and that would be like 56 hours. So, so if you were like, say you were, maybe you're home anyway, but like say you were gainfully employed. Maybe you were like an auctioneer, and you sprayed your tongue, and you couldn't go to work. You could stay at home, right, and watch Cocktales of Tiki King 24 hours a day. Well, actually, you wouldn't. So you figure you got to sleep. So we'll take out 8 hours away, and then miscellaneous things for another hour. So in the time that you are awake, you could watch the Cocktales of Tiki King program for 3.7 days. But if you the IRS will allow you to depreciate up to 1/2. So that's then again half again. So you can watch it for it's like a whole. We're getting on like a week right now. You can watch the Tiki King program now for a week, and it's a write-off. There's actually it's line 98 on form 1040H. Check the box, and they'll credit you appropriately. But I digress. Which actually, the IRS also allows you to digress up to 1/3 because it's less important. I think it's considered less important for some reason. I don't know. Digressing or depreciating. I kind of think sometimes I appreciate digressing. But I'm to each his own. So what are we doing tonight? What are we doing? I don't know. We're well, I know you're here with me. We're watching the program, and I know, so like I said, some people probably watching Aaron do his bagpiping. Some people are watching doing other things, but we're here doing this. So, why don't we make a drink? Since that's what part of this program is about, is the making of the cocktails. Just let me chug down my Mai Tai so that I can get to drinking. So what are we making tonight? Well, for those of you who looked at the spoilers, who scrolled down, you'll know we're making Shipwreck on the Rocks, which is a Trader Sam's of Disneyland recipe. It's one of their more popular ones. And we're going to make it right here, right now, live on this here program. Completely copyright free, apparently. But what do we need to do that? Well, we need some equipment. We have that. We need some pretzels. I have that. We're going to need some ingredients. Bourbon, agave, mint, lemon. Okay. So, we get our equipment, yes. Okay, so we get our equipment, and we're going to start by, we got here this here shaker, and we're going to muddle some lemon wedges, 4 of them according to the recipe, and then 4 fresh mint leaves. Now these you want to talk about fresh. These mint leaves right here, I grew a mint plant, and so I got a whole, well, not never ending, because eventually it's gonna cack off probably for the after summertime. I don't know. Does mint grow in the winter? No. So some mint leaves, and then we're gonna muddle that with a muddler. That's what that. I know you thought you were like looking through your grandpa's bar and you found this tiny baseball bat and you figure it was probably for for dissuading leprechauns from stealing his whiskey, but no, it was probably a muddler, which is what this is, which is just a rounded stick and you use it for smashing stuff. Yeah, muddler. And when you're muddling, one of the things is what you're doing is you're mixing and juicing. Oh, same thing. It's like that song. And we were mixing and juicing and moving to the grooving. So you don't want to destroy things, but you want to get stuff good and mashed up and mixed up in there. Okay, then. Then we're gonna have some bourbon. That's not what this skull full of bourbon. No, that's me. That's not that. 2 ounces. Now, this recipe calls for Maker's Mark, which I didn't happen to have any. But the thing is, and you're thinking, that's okay, just throw a couple ounces of bourbon. The recipe says 2 ounces of bourbon. Well, Maker's Mark is generally weighs it at 90 proof. So you figure this is 80 proof bourbon, so we're lacking 20 proof right there. So we're gonna have to add 20% more in order to make up, which is 40% more because of 2 shots. So that's a half a shot. Easy math for the unattained. I think, I don't know. It does not bear scientific examination. Okay, so we got the bourbon in there, we got the lemon wedges and the fresh mint, and then, and then the agave syrup. Let's put that in there, shall we? Half ounce of that. For those of you who don't know, agave syrup is basically the sugar of the agave plant. Those of you in the know that agave is what we use to make tequila. I think. Is it? Maybe. No. And then we're going to need some ice. This is I just cracked this ice. This is fresh cracked ice. Because I got myself an ice cracker, which is like a saltine cracker, but they put ice on it instead of salt. Now available at the grocery section of your store. Right there. And then we're going to shake it. Is that enough? Is that too much? I don't know. And then we're going to put it in a barrel mug. I just happen to have, look at that, I just happen to have a Trader Sam's Shipwreck on the Rocks barrel mug. We're going to put this fine cocktail in. So we're going to want that half filled with crushed ice, cracked ice, with ice cracks. Half filled, it's like donut holes, ice cracks. And producer Maggie, she didn't like donut holes because they're not really donut holes. They're donut centers. They're donut throwaways. They're donut wastes.
They're donut middles.
Donut middles. There's ice going everywhere. But that's okay. But that's okay. Ow! I forgot to knock my shaker. And I paid for it. It was $10.95 on sale. Put that in there. Alrighty, and then a couple of straws. Trader Sam's swizzle stick. Give that swizzle. A Luxardo cherry, as they do at the Trader Sam's. And then we garnish it with some fresh mint leaves. I accidentally tore up my mint sprig to put it to muddle because I was not thinking. I was so excited. I'm just going to spear those on there because, you know, otherwise. Alrighty, shipwreck on the rocks. Get one. It's like looking for cats. I'm going to let Bruce and Maggie have a little sip to be transported to Trader Sam's, if only for a moment. Yeah. So normally, well, I don't know if it's normal, but so usually, if we were at Trader Sam's right now, there'd be all kinds of mayhem going on. There'd be a ship sinking in the background, and there'd be lights flashing, and a guy spraying you down with water and stuff, and throwing things, and people screaming, "Whoa! Shipwreck! Oh! Oh!" It's a big to-do. It's a big to-do. They do that there. So, but
Only if you're inside.
what's that?
Only if you are inside.
Oh, only if you're inside. Yeah, that doesn't happen if you're not at Trader Sam's.
No, if you're outside.
Yeah, if you're outside, well, if you're out in the patio area, which
they got the guys playing the music.
yeah, there's guys playing ukuleles and cats wandering about the place. So you have to decide what do you want, mayhem and wet, or cats and ukuleles. That's your choice. I can't make it for you. But I would say there's a pretty good facsimile thereof. So, you may or may not have noticed that I've been munching on these. I have some, they're butter pretzel rounds. And you're like, whoa, I don't think I've ever seen Tiki King like eating stuff on the show. Well, I usually don't. You're right. This show is not about me eating pretzels. No. Maybe. Partly. Tonight it is. You decide which one of those you like. It's just one of those things that, you know, when I was a youth, and I used to sneak into bars. I didn't actually go up to the bar because I didn't want, you know, I had on a fake mustache and, you know, cross my eyes and stuff. And I figured that was good enough to sit in the background and order beers. But I didn't want to like draw attention to myself, so I never got to sit up in the front like at the actual bar. But one of the things, so when I turned 21, one of the first like actual like bar, like the first time I went to a bar and sat at the bar, I was very excited about the idea of, you know, because I'd seen, you know, you see in the movies and stuff, it's like a typical thing that there's like, you know, a bowl of pretzels or peanuts or something. There's the thing, and you're sitting there and you're like, hey Joe, how you been? And he's like, well, I've been all right. How about yourself? And you're like, I can tell you tales of woe that would exceed the limits. And he says, that's all right. Let me pour you a shot and we'll digress together. And then he puts out a bowl of pretzels and you're like, yeah, it's been tough. And you look thoughtful. So anyway, so I was kind of excited about that prospect. Because when I was even younger, I thought I might be a prospector at some point. And I was only into that for the gold, not for the pretzels. But you can get rolled gold pretzels, which that'll come back around. So anyway, so one of the first times that I went into a bar legally and sat at the bar right up there in the front was at a place, I don't remember, I was going to see, I can't remember. It was one of three things. It was either one of my friend's bands, which is highly likely. It was might have been Jonathan Richman or Spot 1019. In my brain, it's one of those three things. But so there I was, hunkered down, sitting at the bar, having a drink, mind my own business. Well, it wasn't my own business, but I said to the bartender, I said, hey, how about some pretzels? He said, yeah, we don't have pretzels. I said, well, how about some peanuts? He said, yeah, we don't have that. And I said, well, what about some chips? He said, we don't have any, we don't do food. And I said, yeah, but can't you get, it's like a restaurant, right? You gotta have you serve food or something somewhere. Can't you like get something? He said, no. So I was like, man. So, quickly thinking, I gathered my wits about me and I said, Wits, how long do we have before the show starts? And it was like 20 minutes. I thought, that's enough time. So I left getting my hand stamped dutifully so that I could return. And I went to the store and I bought some pretzels. I bought some rolled gold mini pretzel. See, gold came back around. And returned to my place at the bar and put the pretzels out, and we all began enjoying pretzels with our beers. Well, apparently that was not kosher. It was it was frowned upon by the proprietor of the bar area. And he said, you can't do that. We said, why? He said, you can't just have a bar, you can't just be tossing bags of pretzels out on the bar, all willy-nilly. And I said, well, can you get me like a bowl or something? And he said, yeah, I'll get you a bowl. So, he got me a bowl, nothing like this one. It's a dark and stormy night. And so, we put the pretzels in the bowl and enjoyed them whilst we had our drinks. Well, pretty soon, other patrons began noticing. And they too wanted pretzels at the bar. And they said, barkeep, excuse me, would it be possible to procure a bowl full of pretzels? And he said, no, we don't have pretzels. They said, sir, but we noticed that they are having pretzels. He said, yeah, they brought their own. And he said, oh, we can bring our own food. And he said, no, you can't bring your own food. And he said, they did. And it turned into kind of a ruckus. And I believe we had to put the pretzels away. But anyway, it was one of those things. It was one of those things, which Boozeketeer Turk might remember that or might not. I'm surprised I do. That night was fueled by many things. But I do remember that the essence of the pretzels at OT price. Don't quote me, because no one cares. So, that's the thing is that, here at my bar, I can have pretzels. And if you ever come to my bar, I'll put out pretzels because I'm not shy. But I'm afraid that sort of thing is probably going away with the COVID and whatnot. I know that used to be Tiki Tea. They used to have I don't know if they still do, but they're closed, so probably not. But they used to have, they called it kibble. It was like pub mix in a big thing at the end of the counter. You would say, hey, give me some kibble, and it was like 50 cents or $1 or something. And they'd give you a paper bowl full of snacks. And that was good because when you were jamming down on the fantastic tiki drinks, it's nice to have some salties. Oh, I'm just trying to get away. Like that little muncherino on the sodium end of things. It's kind of thick, That's part of the experience. Any of you watching are 19. I'm sure that you will probably not get to go to a bar and have pretzels. The way life is. So like I said, I don't know how many people are watching other things, watching Aaron Fabs, are watching Boozeketeer Aaron play his pipes live on his internet thing. Some people said, oh, I missed your show because I was watching Aaron. I said, yeah, but he only played for 10 minutes. You tune in later. I said, we can?
He did his earlier this time.
Oh, he did? Oh, so nobody's missing nothing?
No.
Oh.
You should pay attention.
I was going to make another drink for the stragglers. now there's no reason to. Think of no reason to have another drink. Yes, there always comes a time when you just don't want any more drinks. Why would you have another drink? I don't get it. Who does that?
I have one.
Oh, you do? Oh. Well, maybe I should then. For people who are late, for the latecomers. The late skis, I should call them.
There's good news and bad news.
What's that? No, the good news is nobody's watching.
The good news is I have a drink.
Ah.
But the bad news is I used up all of your cream making this White Russian.
Two things about that. One, if you use up the last of the cream making a White Russian, that's completely forgivable. I will in the morning go to make coffee and say, it's okay. She's making a White Russian. It's kind of like a contingency plan. It's like, if you just said, yeah, I poured it down the drain because, I don't know. You'd be like, what? My coffee, you know. But there are sometimes there's things you got to do. It's protocol. But you know what else? You know what really matters? There's a whole nother carton of half and half in the fridge.
There is?
Yeah.
I better get to making more of these then.
That's right. Get to making more White Russians. Because guess what? You ain't gonna drink that. Well, maybe. I don't know. You need some pretzels? Yeah, some. Well, you know, as they say, you can't heal a lemon. So I'm just probably gonna have to make another drink. Anyway. And that's the thing. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, it's never gonna do it again. That was its one time. Ugh, ditcheries. Alrighty, so for those of you who may have joined the show late, I mean later than normal, what are we doing here? Well, we're making a shipwreck on the rocks, which is a drink you would have at Trader Sam's if Trader Sam's were open. How do we make it, you may ask? And I will tell you. I will impart upon you the knowledge. Well, first of all, you're going to need a shaker. Like this. Then you're going to put into that shaker 4 lemon wedges. Oh, that's it, like a song. 4 lemon wedges. 4 lemon wedges. That's not a song, but I made that up. So you need 4 lemon wedges. I don't know. Half a handful of mint leaves. Put those in there. A muddler. We talked about that. You can see. Here's the thing: is that, you know, once I just smashed some lemons, and I would have gotten away with it too. That's not funny. So we muddled together our 4 lemon wedges and our 4 mint leaves. That's how many are in there. I counted. Fresh mint. I'm growing fresh. Let's say I'm growing fresh mint. I'm growing some fresh rosemary and some thyme and lavender and a tomato that is going crazy. It's like going nutty over it. You know, some fresh tomatoes. Let's figure out a tomato drink. Ooh, Bloody Marys. Fresh squeezed tomatoes. I don't know about that. Okay, so we did the muddling. Let's add our bourbon. Remembering that our ratio, we're using 80 proof bourbon as a substitute for 90 proof bourbon, we probably want to add 20% more. Wait, that's wrong, but I don't care. It is only 20%. I just doubled it and added 30 so it'd be metric for our Canadian viewers. That's how we drink the day away in merry old land of Oz. Okay, so we've now muddled some lemons with some bourbon and some mint. Ding! Who's here? Not me. And we're going to add to that some agave syrup, fresh from the agave plant. Syrup manufactured facility. And for those of you who keep track of such things, agave syrup is extremely low on the glycemic index. So if you have to be someone who is semi-adverse to sugar and simple syrup, things like that, agave syrup might be the way to go for you and your loved ones. Alrighty, bourbon, agave syrup, lemons, mint. We need the ice. I seem overly thoughtful because I'm remembering the time that I almost froze to death. So we put in we have a shaker half filled place. We have our ingredients in there. Give it a good shake. So shake well. I've talked about it before. It's like, does that mean to shake it in a manner which is like quality, shake well, or to shake for an extended period of time? If somebody knows, you can always tell me. I won't always listen. That's okay. We're friends. Not like the other. Get in there. Alrighty. Kabang. There we go. Now we're straining it into our glass, which we have generously filled with crushed ice. That's right. Uncle Tiki King's paying for it. Don't go skimping with the crushed ice. So that's in there. We just happen to have another Luxardo cherry already set up on toothpick. How about that? And since I muddled the mint sprig, I'm just going to spear some mint on this here mint kebab. Squizzle. Still delicious. Anyway, so there we go, dear. Woo. That is the shipwreck on the rocks. Twice made, twice drank. Twice made, once drank, but it will be twice drank. Trust me. By the end of the thing. So I was very excited that we had another mixmaster. We have Boozeketeer. Kim said she was going to be shaking along with the show. I don't know if she did, but she requested that I send out a list of ingredients. So that's why, I post. Sometimes I post the spoilers, but I usually do them in link form. Today I actually posted the recipe. I don't know if that's useful for you people, for you Boozeketeers, if you're like adverse to too much clicking. But so I was wondering, it's always fun to me if someone is mixing along with the show to kind of have them say, oh yeah, I made that, and here's what I thought, or here's what I did, or whatnot. But I will say this. If you did mix along tonight, and you made yourself a fine cocktail in a fabulous presentation, snap it, man. Take a picture. Take a photograph of that fine cocktail and send it to me. And maybe I'll post it, like tomorrow. Maybe I'll post a thing of user drinks, a thing of Boozeketeers showing off what they did, showing off their shake-alongs, as it were. So that'd be fun. So you have a little gallery of, people and their drinks. So, well, let's do that. Anybody who made the drink tonight, if you can, take a picture of it, send it in, and we'll say, here's so-and-so having their fine shipwreck on the rocks. In their home bar, kitchen, living room, whatever it is. Doesn't matter. It's all good. What else? What's going on? So that's pretty much it, except for shipwreck. So I was thinking of I'm getting ready for the show, and I was thinking about nautical things and naughty things. But I started thinking about a long time ago. I went on a tour of the tall ships, which was kind of piratey. It's kind of fun. Went out with Boozeketeer Turk, and unfortunately some of our pirate parade was not well in the ocean, but we had a good time drinking the rum, and which we had to provide ourselves, but no one was the wiser. And being out on the ship, so which I was thinking about times. So obviously been in Disneyland, been on the what is the name of the Columbia. Been out there on the Columbia, and I may or may not have had a clandestine drink of rum or two on the Columbia. I can neither confirm nor deny the amount of drinking that I've done at the Columbia. And some people may not know, the Mark Twain actually has a bar. there's a bar. They don't serve drinks. But doesn't mean that someone may have had a drink there. Neither confirmed nor denied. The amount of drinks I had on the Mark Twain. And then there's those Peter Pan boats. I don't know. I'm not going to say anything more about that. Because I'd like to go back there someday. But if someone was to have drinks on pretty much every boat-themed thing at Disneyland, that'd be not the first time. So anyway, I was just realizing I'm looking at so I make these. I make like the drink recipes, right? And then I write down things. Oh, I should mention this. And I usually don't. Like none of this stuff is anything that I say. Usually, but sometimes it's a weird thing. Sometimes I'll like, oh, I should tell that story, and then I realize, no, I really shouldn't tell that story. That's probably not good. But unlike the Boozeketeer's live streams, where pretty much anything goes and no secrets are left. But anyway, I think that's it. I think that's all for tonight. That is Tuesday night, Cocktales of Tiki King, episode 112. That's another one in the can, like a sardine. Like a smoked oyster with tomato sauce. So there you go. And this is Tiki King, and I'm saying good night and good drinking.